Hey, I just wanted to answer a question today about how to use a capo for the guitar, why to use a capo and kind of how to use it. And I'll have a sheet attached in the link where you can just pull it up. It's a capo cheat sheet that I've made to just kind of help you get started. And I'm basically going to be walking through that document. So I'll put it up on the screen some, but if you want to download it, I'll just put a link below for that. So the purpose of a capo for the acoustic guitar especially is to put you in chord shapes in any key that are comfortable and especially that sound good. It's not just beginners that use a capo. For a beginner, it can be really helpful to put the song in keys that are easy to play. Maybe you only know 5 or 6 chords right now, and so it can be a good start to use a capo. In my opinion, the most important part about learning the guitar is the right hand. So many people are able to learn all the chord shapes on the left hand, but it takes some time to really lock that rhythm in on the right hand. That's more of a struggle for them. So I don't think that it's a bad idea to stick to just a few chords and get really good at those so that you can spend more time focused on your right hand, and as your rhythm improves, then start to learn some more chords, start to work on your left hand again. I just want to kind of show you the principle of a capo. It comes from the idea of bar chords. So I'll kind of start there. If you are familiar at bar chords, this will be helpful. If you're not, it might not be helpful. But I will still help you. We'll get there. Bar chords, and the way they work is here is an E major chord. A lot of you probably already know an E major chord. But what you'll notice is that a standard F major chord is actually the same thing, except you're barring this fret. You're holding that E shape beneath it and you're borrowing it. So a capo does the exact same thing, except you don't have to bar the chord. So if I bar that first fret that I was just barring with my finger, and I play that E shape below, I'm now playing an F. So for the second set of strings, the principle is the same way. So if you hold an A chord, or even just an A2 is just a little more simple, or if you hold an A minor chord, if you bar those and put it beneath there, there's that A2. Now you've went from A to B flat to B to C. You're just moving up. You're just highering that key. So A minor, B, B minor. And then with E, you've kind of got almost the opposite. The E major, E minor. So F major, F minor. Same thing. So if you look at that chart, the circle of keys in the corner, you can see every note on the guitar, or every note that's really in music theory in general. So you start E with that E, and then F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, which is the second string, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and then back to E. That's what that double 2 dots is that most guitars have. That's an octave, so you're starting over at E again, the same note by the time you get there. So if you know bar chords, the cool thing is you can technically play about any chord on the guitar really easily. You know, E major, E minor, F major, F minor, F sharp, G, G sharp, same thing all the way up the fretboard. So that's a pretty cool thing to have the ability to do that. And it's not super hard to remember all of the notes that are on the guitar. It takes a little time to kind of memorize and figure out where everything's at. But if you just remember, it's basically the alphabet, and just remember that B and E notes do not have a sharp. There's no B sharp, there's no E sharp. So everything else is just, E, there's no E sharp, so F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B doesn't have a sharp, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and back to E. So now you've got all the notes and the scale that exist. You've got bar chords where you can play those shapes, but they're kind of hard to play and they're kind of clunky. They're not necessarily the most acoustic guitar, especially. A lot of the idea is to make it sound smooth. And so not to have chords that are really clunky. If I was playing in the key of E, playing an E chord there, and then A chord, and then go to C sharp, B, I could do that, or I could capo the second fret to the key of D and have those same chords really kind of ring out instead of having that like bar chord sound. That bar chord sound is really more common with electric guitars that are trying to, you know, kind of drive the music. But on an acoustic guitar, you're typically not looking for that sound. There are instances where bar chords are nice on the acoustic guitar, but usually what you're looking for is just the smoothest blend. Part of why the key of G is so popular on the guitar, because you can play chords in the key of G where a lot of your fingering doesn't change. You know, G, you can play a C2, those bottom ones are staying in the same spot. A D suspended, they stay in the same spot. E minor 7, they all stay in the same spot, and it's just a very smooth sound. So you'll see attached in this Capo cheat sheet each key and kind of a recommended where I would put the capo. So if you're in the key of A, I would typically be capoing 2nd fret to bring myself up to G. Or you could play an A also. If I'm in the key of B, I'm typically going to capo the 4th fret and play G shapes. Maybe this will help you just get started. As far as what key to play a song in, it's a little more complicated. I would probably just recommend testing some different keys out until you find the right one for your voice. If you look up a guitar chord sheet and it's in the key of G and it seems like it's too low for you, you could just literally, you know, just try capo 2nd fret. That brings you higher by 2 half steps. Keep going up the fret until it's comfortable for you. Or even if it's too high for you, you could go ahead and start a ways up the fret, like try capoing the 5th fret and start playing the song and see where it's at. The higher you bring the capo, the higher the pitch of the song is going to be. The lower you bring it, the lower the pitch is. It can help you put songs in a key that's singable for you. If you already know the key you want to play the song in, it could help you be able to play a song. If you're playing a song and half the chords have to be bar chords, it's got like a lot of B chords in it or F chords, this could be a really helpful solution to help you learn some of these songs. So let's say that you grab a guitar sheet offline and it's in the key of B, which includes an F sharp chord, a G sharp minor chord, a couple chords that you don't typically play on the acoustic guitar. You are following the cheat sheet and you're going to put capo on the 4th fret and play G shapes instead. But the chords on your sheet are still in the key of B. You're going to need to transpose the music so that you can play it in G shapes instead of playing it in those B shapes. You're in the key of B by putting capo 4th fret and playing G shapes, but you need to know what chords to play. I've got a transposition cheat sheet on there. So it shows, you can see the key of B, those are the ones that are in bold, is what key you're in. So B is that 2nd key right there. You can see that the most common chords in the key of B are B, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then sometimes you'll also have a C sharp, a D sharp, an A sharp chord. And so if you just go down to the G, which is the very bottom there, you can see what chord would become what. So that B in the key of B would become a G if you're playing G shapes. The E would become a C. You can see at the top there's numbers correlating with those. That would normally be called the 4 chord. The 5 chord, which is an F sharp in the key of B, would become a D in the key of G. The G sharp minor, the 6th chord in the key of B, would become an E minor in the key of G. So you can just really quickly use this chart and also transpose the music over. So if you're grabbing, you know, like I said, if the chart you have is just in the key of B and it's got a lot of chords that you can't play, you can use the left side and it says, you know, your 2 best options would be either to capo 4th fret to the key of G. So you do that, and then you would use the right side to transpose those chords from the key of B into those G shapes that you're now going to be using. To walk you through even more of that sheet, it kind of shows those bar chords that I was showing you on the left side. It also shows just best sounding key shapes to play. It has, you know, G, D, C. Typically when I'm playing acoustic guitar, I'm playing most of the songs in G, D, or C. It used to be really popular to play songs in the key of E. It's not as much in some ways now, so I use it sometimes, but not as much. I'm not honestly a big fan of the way the key of A sounds. It's not necessarily hard to play, it just doesn't sound as clean and smooth as some of the other keys do. Hopefully that's really helpful to get you started, and just let me know if you have any questions, and as I've got time I'll try to answer any questions that you have. So thanks, hope this is helpful to you.